Hello, Libra, and welcome to Reckoning for the Faithful, your 2025 spring reading from Planet Waves. I'm Eric Francis, your astrologer, here with some information about one of the most extraordinary times in astrological history that I have ever seen as an astrologer in real time, or studied as an astrologer who is very much enamored of the history of astrology when plotted out against the events of history. And right, that's a great way to learn astrology, is to do the astrology of historical events and times in history. And what we've got now is really unusual. This is coming, and I will tell you a bit about it in a moment. But first, I want to say that we are alive in an extraordinarily unusual and I think for humanity in total a dangerous time that nobody really wants to talk about. Nobody wants to be seen as being anti-technology, and then you've got a lot of people who are into technology and they are more or less clueless because they're high as a kite on the technological environment that they're in, and really have no way to see what's going on with any context and history or hindsight. They do not necessarily know the history of these waves and waves of technological advancement that have kind of stormed humanity since the late 19th century, as the electrical age has kind of grown up and dawned upon us, and then it's just been one thing after the next. And I think what people tend to believe is that everything that comes along is just some other device. So one day a mouse looks like this, it has a tail, and then one day a mouse looks like this. It's very sleek and it has no tail. You might be wondering, why do I have one of these on my desk and even plugged in? That's because the batteries run out on the powered mouse, and so it's that's just one small example of the way that the layers and layers of technology build up. But what the people who study technology and what the technologists themselves do not look at is the way that each wave of technological transformation transforms the experience of being human together with people in intimate situations, and it transforms what we experience in our social, that is to say, societal situations, to the point now where we are being run basically completely out of control. Most people are, to some extent, run ragged and barely sleep. And I assert that almost everything that we are dealing with now, every problem that we think we have, every situation that we think we might be in, every crisis and relationship that we might think that we're in, all of it is a response to coping with, dealing with, staying above water in the digital environment. And this, trust me, is not the digital environment of internet cafes. Oh, there's a computer in Daddy's office. The computer in Daddy's office is as much like the computer today as the telephone hanging on the wall that you would dial is to the iPhone. There's no comparison between them. And right now we are being completely overrun with yet another wave of technology, which is the infusion of some form of an artificial intelligence device into every function of government, commerce, industry, and travel. And once again, people don't have the they don't have the hindsight really to look back and say, hey, what exactly was that what was that happened? What was the problem that was created by putting TVs all over the place? What was created by wiring the whole planet with electricity and turning night to day. There's absolutely no discussion of that, and there really has never been one, except in in the pages of my personal favorite philosopher, Marshall McLuhan, who spent his entire career analyzing and looking at, in practical terms, meaning in reality, what each of these changes brought to society. And so I've been saying in these readings that this is the spiritual crisis that humans are creating. And by a spiritual crisis, I mean a crisis of existence and a level of threat. I mean, there is actually a threat involved here in having what amount to sentient machines that can basically think and do and create whatever they want, and they can communicate with each other over networks. That can reprogram themselves. They can essentially transform themselves into anything. What it means to be completely surrounded by these. And I realize that basically, next to nobody cares. I'm hoping that you're getting my point, and I'm going to explain to you why in astrology this is so crucial for you, and why now is such a crucial turning point for you.